At the start of the year, DSP announced a new channel. He rebranded KO Gaming to DSP Throwback. After finding his old hard drives in the closet, Phil wanted his lost media to get restored and re-uploaded to YouTube. Phil finally got around to doing this after finding the right dead turn to do his work for free. And the results are what you probably expected.
So I've decided, ladies and gentlemen, that I am going to officially rebrand one of my legacy channels, okay? Official, starting today, even though there's no content over there. As of this morning, KO Gaming is no more. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you DSP Throwback. I'm rebranding the channel as of this morning. Now, there's nothing new on that channel whatsoever. I just want to forewarn you. You're going to find over there old playthroughs from 5+ years ago, from a time when this channel got suspended erroneously by YouTube and that had to get fixed up. And then before then, you're going to find a bunch of edited style content from 2016. That's really where the KO Gaming channel came from. There was a whole year that I was doing edited reviews and countdowns. So there's content over there. And I will urge you, give it a look. Okay? I think you should. Maybe you'll enjoy that content. I am not going to just upload the raw playthrough footage. With the help of some others, so I don't want to lie here and take credit. I'm not doing all of this myself, okay? I've been approached by a few parties who are very interested in seeing my old legacy content get restored on YouTube, and not only restored, but be improved. The parts of Final Fantasy XIII are only 10 minutes long, okay? So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna upload a whole bunch of parts, but those parts, instead of only being 10 minutes long, will be edited together into longer videos. We're gonna attempt to take those videos and run them through a program that will sharpen the visuals and upscale them to look better. So these are the old days when I had a crappy 720p camera pointed at a television. Instead, it's going to try to take that and make it more crisp and clean and make it look better than the original playthrough actually did.
DSP also mentions that his old cam footage will be upscaled. He hopes that they'll look better. A lot of these older videos were filmed through a handycam. I'll get into how the new upscale versions look in a bit. It's just odd for him that he thinks people want this. Re-uploading handycam gameplay in 2024 is not a good idea. This is his legacy though. He doesn't have children, so he has to show his history to us instead. These videos just won't look better through the AI upscaler. It won't magically make it look like direct capture. AI won't be able to fix his audio either. He recorded these back in his condo, and the audio quality was always bad. There's a lot of echo, and the camera mic is picking up the game and the commentary into the one track. If Phil wasn't so stubborn back then, he could have adopted direct capture as soon as he could if he cared about his content.
It's not going to change the content, okay? It's not. It's going to be the same commentary and everything, but what we're going to try to do is make longer videos and attempt to make them look better for a modern audience so it's more visually appealing to you rather than looking at peach fuzz. In addition, there'll be thumbnails. So instead of it just being Final Fantasy XIII part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, it's going to actually have thumbnails and everything. It's going to look better and be shorter. It'll basically be way more digestible content for 2024. Number 2, since the whole rebranding of the channel now is DSP Throwback, the whole idea is to kind of experience what old-time YouTube used to be like. So what I'd like to do is from time to time go on that channel and maybe do a random stream where I talk to the audience and explain to everyone what it used to be like 15 years ago as a YouTuber. How different was the site? How different was the uploading experience? What was it like interacting with people in the comments? What was the general vibe of the site, right? What were the problems back then? What was it like if you wanted to make a living on YouTube? Was it even viable? Well, you know, things were very, very different back in the day when you started on YouTube compared to today.
But Phil, you already had that, and you always bring up your Al Bundy speech about the bygone era of YouTube, back in the day when you made lots of money, yada yada yada. The Machinima event was mostly this, and so is the 15-year legacy event. So what can he bring to us that you haven't said already? He has retconned his past events multiple times, and no doubt he's going to retcon his own commentaries, saying he's changed. We even get a disclaimer that's just this at the start of every throwback video now. The hypnosis is strong with this one.
Now this one is very interesting, but I don't know if you guys would be interested in it or not. But here's idea number 3 for that channel, okay? And I just came up with this one last night, okay? Once we actually have some of my legacy Lost Media playthroughs up on that channel, I could do a special stream, maybe every once in a while, again, not frequently, but every once in a while, just for variety, where we go back and we actually do a live react to my old playthroughs. So I watch myself play the old games and react to my old style of commentary, my old style of gameplay, okay? I know I'm gonna cringe like crazy at my old commentary and shit. Well, you've seen it yourself. When people say, hey, go, here's a clip, suggest it, and I watch it, I'm like, oh, God, I can't believe the stuff I used to say for a different kind of audience back then, right? So how cool would it be to see 2024 41 to 42-year-old Phil commentate on 27-year-old Phil?
So how does the upscaling look? Well, it's ass. Final Fantasy XIII was locked to 30 FPS, and it barely made that on the PS3. Not only did it upscale 720p to 4K, but it doubled the frame rate. So this is a 30 FPS game turned into a 60 FPS video. The game moves quite fast, and the frames start to catch up to the fake 60 FPS. This causes a lot of stress on the eyes and gives you motion sickness. Speaking of stress, there's a lot of flashing lights. The AI doesn't really know what to do with it, and it dims in and out. This gives off an uncanny bootleg movie vibe, like it was recorded in a movie theater.
Is she fighting or having sex? What the hell? It sounds like he's taking a shit.
Pass the TP! Oh!
Bah! Feel like chicken tonight.
This thing won't give up.
Dun, 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 just like the boss from Final Fantasy VII. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, more fighting. And somehow we have full HP back. Okay. We'll do auto battle again. Hiya! Hiya! I have no idea how much damage I'm actually taking from the damn thing. It's really confusing. Wave cannon! He was charging his laser. Same generic attack. This guy's got guns. Why doesn't he run away and shoot from a distance? Why is he standing so close to the damn thing? Damn, we're down to like 50% HP right now, aren't we? Ah, my face. How dare you? Another wave cannon. Ow. Hey. Alright, hold on. Oh, potion heals both allies? What the hell? That's the first game I've seen in a Final Fantasy where a potion heals everybody. Oh, we beat him? 4 stars? Fuck you! What was I supposed to do? I got 6 potions for that fight? What the hell? Does not compute! Does not compute!
The audio sounds as bad as the video looks. I am not an expert when it comes to audio. I just try to sound as good as I can with what I got. If I ever need help with audio, I can always ask around. One of my go-to guys is Logan K from Taking L's. He's the guy you ask when it comes to improving your audio quality. He also had some really interesting insights with the quality of DSP Throwbacks. So when you can, go over to Taking L's and give them a sub. They make great content like what I'm about to show you.
When the future was clear and it hurt to see.
Well, yeah, the thing is, so R-Master, you're right. It does sound doubled. The thing is, the music was echoing against his back wall or something, because usually when you have the doubling sounds or the phase sound, it's when music bounces off parallel walls, back walls. He recorded this in his Connecticut condo, which had no sound baffling and parallel walls. So the sound was feeding back into the camera mic, picking up as an echo. So the echo cancellation pinged it as noise when it actually was like the intended consequence of his recording setup. So DSP fucked himself from day one with this shit. He should not be reposting this.
When the future was clear, I used Clearasil.
And lose myself in happier days.
Goddamn puberty, I hate zits. Of course, why not?
He sounds so bored. Like, the fact that anybody would think that this legacy content was good
Oh my god.
or worth
How many
saving,
years did I
he
wait
just
to play
sounds
this fucking
bored,
horse
man.
shit? This plot's awful.
Yeah, dude, you can hear it with most of the music, actually. It thinks the music is noise. Listen, when the music comes in, listen real close.
Oh my god. How many years did I wait to play this fucking horse shit? This plot's awful.
Yeah, did you hear the piano? But it's canceling out itself. Oh my god. How many years did I wait to play this fucking horse shit? He has not changed. This makes me want to go play Final Fantasy X actually. Final Fantasy X is my favorite Final Fantasy game. Fuck you. Fight me.
Phil keeps going on about DSP Throwback on his daily Snortcast. The channel is the new snake oil he's trying to sell to his viewership. Watch hours of poorly upscaled footage of old DSP commentary with shitty audio. He's also really drunk at these old Let's Plays and just sounds bored as fuck. None of these videos have any redeeming quality and there's zero charm to them. It's just another cash grab for DSP, because all he cares about is getting KO Gaming back to the partnership program. I guess grifting and begging his way for more money is just a lot of hard work for DSP.
So I'm watching it, and within the first few parts, I say all these words I would never say today. All right? And just for the record, the reason that that kind of commentary was used back then is very simple. I came from the Street Fighter community, and in the FGC or Street Fighter community back then, language was ridiculous. You know, it really felt like a fraternity, like a good old boys club. Like a rite of passage was to basically be verbally abused. Like it was just part of that. Okay, words were thrown around, and the thing was, no one took offense when these words were used. Today, you use those words just in public. People are like, what's wrong with you? Like, do you have problems? Like, why are you saying these awful things? But back then, it was just common language that was used, okay? One word, I will just say this right up front. Something that I feel awful about, okay? Back then, the word rape was literally used not to mean what it actually means, but it basically meant, like, being destroyed in a fighting game, okay? So you would say, oh, so-and-so got in a fighting game if they got like double perfect it. And you would use that all the time. That was a common word to be used in the fighting game community. All right. So now I go back and I watch my old videos and I'm like, why did I just casually drop that word in the middle of the video? It's like out of place. You watch it in 2023, 2024, actually. You're like, that's so out of place. Why? It doesn't even make sense in the context of what's going on in the video. You're like, why would someone use that word? It just seems like very insensitive, right? But that's because we're looking at it through a modern lens. 14 years ago, that was common language used in various communities, and that's the community I was coming from, all right? So there's definitely words that are deemed offensive, right, that are in the commentary, and there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to go back after the fact and completely change all the commentary on that stuff, all right? It is what it is. That's why there's a disclaimer at the beginning of the playthrough that says the language and everything is not representative of the current day thoughts and attitudes of this gamer. And even in the description of every video I upload on that channel, it now says, FYI, this content is over a decade old. It's representative of the bygone era on YouTube, so don't take offense. This is not something that would be done today, okay? The content on that channel is supposed to be old content that's been lost to time, or on the flip side of that, some content that I used to do back in the day between the years of 2008 and 2010, before I made this channel, DSP Gaming, basically no one even knows it exists. It used to be on my original channel called darksydephil on YouTube. I stopped using that channel in 2010 and haven't used it since. So there's like 2 years of content on there, full playthroughs, some of my oldest classic playthroughs, but they look awful. These playthroughs were using a camera pointing at a TV. They absolutely looked terrible. Awful, okay? And the audio, in some cases, so washed out. So it was mono audio, not stereo because it was a camera. And it sounds like I'm in a cave. It sounds like I'm inside of a tin can, inside of a closet, inside of a giant echoing room, inside of a cave. That's what it sounds like. So it's like, you know, people liked that back then because they said, oh, that content looks more genuine. It's like you're sitting next to your friend in a living room.
There were other content creators back then that had the feeling that you were with mates. Two best friends, for example, but I was more into James and Mike Mondays. They were just two guys who played retro games. It was fun seeing their chemistry together.
Alright, I think the idea...
Look at that. Look at that. That's the ultimate pussy eater right there. Like, seriously. Look at that. That is right there. That's every woman's fantasy right there.
Whoa.
I can't.
Alright.
Whoa, look at how long it is now. Holy shit.
Alright, this is gonna get really fucked up.
Hoi!
What?
I think you just knocked me off, dude, because I made it and then I fell off.
I think there was wind. Like the wind
That's
just sucked
wind.
me.
Throwback videos are just so far Phil playing a game by himself. I don't get why the bad audio makes it feel like you're in the same room. I guess he's trying to claim that it's wholesome, but as we know, there's no redeeming quality about DSP and his content. Phil goes into talking about his new favorite thing, feedback.
Now, what I wanted was feedback. What do you guys think of these videos? What are your suggestions for improvement? What do you think should happen? All right, here's the feedback. I want to share some of this feedback with you because I think this feedback is very, very important to pay attention to and to respond to. It's constructive criticism. By the way, tons of negative idiots over there, and I've ignored them all, but the constructive criticism has been off the charts. So thank you for that, okay? So, number one, people are just happy to see this content back. They really are. Like, wow, this is a lost playthrough. I remember it from back in the day, and now to be able to watch it back in a modern setting with this, you know, new improvements in editing is great, okay? But some people have some suggestions and issues. Number one, these videos are upscaled to up to 1440p resolution. They started off, originally it was supposed to be 720p with the digital cameras I had, but it really wasn't. These were fuzzy videos, not clear at all, because I was a camera pointed at a TV with focus issues and things like that. Lighting issues, you know, exposure issues. So, upscaling the videos, they look very different, okay, for sure. They look more clear, but some things look a little weird, admittedly. Frame rate. These videos originally were recorded at 30 frames, but weren't 30 frames. They were somewhere in the 20s, I believe. Again, because my camera wasn't really capturing a real 30 frame rate. By upscaling these videos to 60 frames, using AI, some scenes look amazing. Like, mind-numbingly good. You're watching the cutscenes, or you're watching some of the combat, and it blows you away. Like, what the hell? This game looks like almost direct capture 60 frames. This looks so good. But there are definitely certain situations that's causing what's called ghosting. For those who don't know, ghosting is when there's motion on your screen, and because there's an issue with the bitrate, or there's an issue with, in this case, AI trying to create artificial frames that don't exist, it creates a ghost effect. Right now, you're not seeing that. It looks pretty good. It looks like a smooth hand movement.
He seems to like the 60 FPS and thinks it looks good. I don't know about you, DSP, but when I first checked out the upscaled footage, I noticed those artifacts right away. They made it even more unwatchable. He calls it ghosting, and it's not really ghosting, it's just a frame rate trying to catch up. DSP also brings up the frames that a lot of people have been talking about. I really think he's just listening to other detractors talking about it and not his actual fans. It's rare for DSP to take feedback, so I give him some credit in changing the frames back to 30. By him, I mean him emailing the dead turn.
Number one, the camera that I was using for Final Fantasy XIII at the start wasn't a great camera. Some point during the playthrough, I bought a new one because I was taking the videos more seriously, and then the video quality improved. Maybe that would help. I don't know. Number two, it could just plainly be that we're going from like 20 some frames to 60, and the AI, you know, isn't doing a great job, and it's creating these ghost images. So the thing is, you know, I'm watching it and I'm like, well, does it really look that bad? In some cases, I think it does, and in others, it doesn't. And I actually watched the first 3 parts of my playthrough last night, okay? Because I wanted to see firsthand what it looked like. What you're seeing, I wanted to see. And I'll be honest, number one, the commentary's funny as shit. It really is. Like, I haven't heard this commentary in 14 years. the last time I heard it was when I recorded it, okay? Outside of the cringe-worthy words that I use that I would never use today, I think it's pretty darn funny. The observational comedy and stuff that I'm doing is pretty, it's timely. That's 14-year-ago humor, and it still works because you can put yourself into that time frame and laugh about it, you know.
If it's timely humor, as you say, then why have this disclaimer on every single video? I swear, this man just keeps making shit up as he goes. Yet, I can't look away.
I'm making references. There's a reference coming up to Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. Who the fuck would understand that reference today? But, you know, it was funny for the time. You know, the Olsen twins. Who the fuck even knows who the Olsen twins are now? But back then, people still remembered Full House, right? So that's what I mean. Like, the commentary is still pretty darn funny, I feel. So, that's good. As for the visuals, I think they work about 80% of the time. Meaning, I think it looks damn good 80% of the time. 20% of the time, like, oh, this fucking ghosting's annoying. And I wish it wasn't doing it, right? But I think overall, this is a way more positive thing than a negative. And by the way, the half-hour parts are a godsend. To be able to watch this in half-hour chunks and not have video every 10 minutes, it was obnoxious back then. I had to do it. I didn't want to make 10-minute videos. YouTube would not allow videos longer than 10 minutes back then. That was the limit. You had to be a short video or else you had to split your videos. I had reviews that were 4 parts back then. Because I'm trying to review a game in depth. It's like a 20-30 hour game. I'm trying to review it in like a half an hour. I have to make 3 fucking parts. It was ridiculous how YouTube was back then. So, overall, I think it looks great. And overall, I'm pleased with the way that it's now presented, okay? That's my take on it. But the ghosting is definitely an issue. I agree with people on that. The ghosting is like if the ghosting didn't exist, I think the videos would be perfect. So, here's some of the feedback I've received, okay, on the videos. Number 1, people are torn. Half the people want me to keep doing these playthroughs in the upscaled 60 frames, and others are of the impression that if I just upscaled it to higher resolution, but I just left it at 30 frames, that it would be fine. Some people are totally of the impression, just upscale the resolution, don't do the frame rate, okay? I mean, fair enough, that's a good suggestion. We don't really know how it's going to affect things at all, right? Like, we really don't know until we try. So, based on that feedback, tomorrow I'm releasing part 5 of Final Fantasy XIII, and I'm actually going to do it at 30 frames per second instead of 60.
Who are these people that go to DSP and say, I like the 60 FPS. I want the Jasper experience, getting motion sickness to the point where I vomit on the floor. They are just probably voices in his head trying to convince him that it looks good. There's no way in hell this is almost like direct capture quality. This is literally a polished turd that can't be saved. So, how does it look with the original frame rate? It's more watchable. There is still a lot of light flickering. Not sure if that's to do with the upscaler or the camera quality itself. The sound is still bad and there's no modern way to fix that, unless the dead turd has excellent audio software. I very much doubt that. You get what you paid for DSP, and you ain't paying anyone to make this for you.
Oh, we got new monster types. Look at these guys. They're fucking hip-hopping all over the place. Little gecko things. Brescian bass. They're called Brescian bass. Okay. Oh! She's spin and an attack. A couple more hits, they'll be dead. I'm just letting them auto attack because we're pretty much kicking their asses anyway. There we go.
Final Fantasy XIII is probably one of the worst games to try this technology on. It's a very flashy game with lots of bright colours, and it's also old and long. If you came across this video and made it this far DSP, I'd recommend just uploading these in thirds. Have 3 long play videos and add chapters. People can always come back anytime to finish them. But no, he wanted the ad revenue for these shit videos instead, and he don't care about quality or the content you make. Like I said before, DSP is just a snake oil salesman and is trying to sell you more trash content. He wants his viewers to be everywhere, all the time. DSP Gaming, DSP Reacts, and DSP Throwback. He doesn't want them to watch other content creators. When he does, he wants the flying monkeys to check out detractor videos. So hey, if you saw this, hello there, I see you. DSP Throwback is a technological failure. A man who is creatively bankrupt to the point where he thinks re-uploading cam footage that's been upscaled in 1440p in the year of 2024 is a good idea. He's the pinnacle of lazy content creation, with no skill involved. He can't even use OBS, he can't even level his microphone, his setup makes zero sense, and he has become too dented to improve on anything. He has uploaded Red Dead videos, and if I cover those, then this video would be too long. I just wanted to cover DSP Throwback because I hate it so much. Just play the game yourself, you'll have a better experience than what Throwback has to offer. If you got this far in the video, I do appreciate it. Keep enjoying what you enjoy, keep improving your knowledge and skills, and never become a DSP.